Like, Caitlin Clark spent 20 minutes signing autographs. She made her way 2/3 of the arena. She signed literally hundreds of autographs. And if you guys didn't see that game today, there were as many Fever fans as there were Sky fans.
Chicago was slammed like a freight train by the phenomenon that the WNBA has been trying to comprehend collectively for more than a year, bringing with it attendance records and autographs. However, it wasn't even about what transpired on the court this time. The spectacle of the Indiana Fever crushing the Chicago Sky 93-78 was impressive.
So once again, the god Caitlin Clark came and bricked Barbie's house, scraped her goofy ass even on her off day, and took over her arena signing autographs. You see, Black Clan, this is what the face of the league looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Caitlin Clark, everybody wanting to get a signature of the most electrifying woman in women's basketball, man. Bricklayer.
No, this was about something far more lyrical, something much more damaging to the hometown swagger of Angel Reese. This involved Caitlin Clark entering the United Center, the hallowed basketball court of Angel Reese, sitting on the bench with a groin injury, and somehow still making it to the main event.
Happened to Miss Angel Reese. She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, come to your trap, take over your trap. What happened to that? Because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over. She took your trap over. Caitlin Clark, it was more fans running. They was running down on Caitlin Clark like she was Michael Jordan.
Due to a back ailment, Angel Reese is unable to play. Caitlin Clark has missed 4 consecutive games due to a groin issue. Nevertheless, the Indiana Fever bus might as well have been transporting the Pope himself when it arrived in Chicago. Before the game ever began, the 20,000-seat United Center, where this game was moved due of the real WNBA queen, was converted into Clark's personal autograph signing convention.
And if Fever played the Chicago Sky on Barbie Night, of which Angel Reese was not in the game. She is who Barbie Night is pretty much named after, but she is out with a back injury. As a matter of fact, many of their players are out. Mariah Jefferson is out. Haley Van Lith is out. Again, Angel Reese is out. So this game, in my mind, was pretty much a lock. And I gotta say, it was not the funnest game. And the fact that the Chicago Sky even brought it back, they were just killing them by the first half.
Subscribe if you're enjoying it. This is simply the most exquisite way to dominate basketball without really playing the game. Clark walked around the United Center signing autographs for supporters for 20 whole minutes. 2/3 of the arena was covered by her. She continued even after security attempted to usher her into the tunnel as if she were a normal player. She persisted because, when they grasp their role in the cosmos, legends do just that.
Estoy bien nerviosa.
The next shocking revelation should cause any Angel Reese fan to reevaluate their entire understanding of basketball hierarchy. These weren't Chicago-based Indiana Fever fans by chance. These were Chicago supporters frantically vying for Caitlin Clark's signature at Angel Reese's home court. Even though Caitlin Clark is injured and only sits on the bench, she has standards, so she graciously denied a fan's request to have her sign Chicago Sky gear.
Later, you can never do this in Indiana or in any arena, because we don't come to see you, bricklaying sloth. Caitlin Clark is the official owner of Chicago, man. It's time that y'all build a Caitlin Clark statue in Chicago in front of the Chicago Sky Arena, man, because Clark just comes over and takes over the arena with all the dozens and dozens of people, boys, girls, everybody wanting to see the god Caitlin Clark, ladies and gentlemen.
For about 30 minutes, the woman was signing basketballs, jerseys, and everything else that spectators threw at her. And she accomplished this with the poise of someone who knows that her own existence is a moment. Angel Reese, meanwhile, was probably somewhere recovering from her back injury as her home fans went crazy over her fiercest opponent, who was unable to even put on her trainers that day. Mitchell lost by 35 points. She recorded her 100th career 20-point game and her 8th 30-point effort with 35 points on 7 three-pointers. In addition, she recorded her 200th career steal, which puts her second in franchise history only to Tama's 20-point game catches.
Was just on another level today, man. Oh my goodness. I'm talking about the hustle, the steal, the drive, the shot making, the making the threes. Fam, it was just really a dominant performance from her, man. Really looking like one of those superstars. All right, she looked like a pure superstar today, man. However you want to chalk it up. All right, had 35 points. 35 points.
This was more than just a basketball game. Mitchell used this to inform the basketball community that the Fever have layers. Mitchell has been quietly developing a resume that would make most guards envious, while everyone has been fixated on Clark's every move. She is the ideal complement to Clark's genius. A seasoned professional who can step up when called upon and step up when given the opportunity. Angel Reese and the Sky, who are without their own top player, only scored 78 points and shot a pitiful 32.1% from the field. They shot a pitiful 20% from three-point range and had 23 turnovers, which the Fever turned into 31 points. It was the type of performance that makes you question whether being at home in an arena with your fiercest competitors' supporters chanting could be a psychological disadvantage.
The Chicago Sky getting their asses blown out by 40. It's just another shining example of the delusion that runs through the WNBA. Like, some players in the WNBA really truly believe that they play basketball on like skill on par level as men in the NBA. These women in the WNBA are a Bush League junior varsity high school basketball team. It would be one thing if like you're shooting and your shots just weren't falling and your percentage was just like low for the night. But this is just absolutely an embarrassing display of what is described as the best of the best level of basketball.
There was more to what transpired in Chicago on July 27th than a single game or person. What it means to be a draw in professional sports was completely redefined in this context. The second best-selling basketball jersey in America is that of Caitlin Clark, trailing only Stephen Curry in basketball overall, not just in the WNBA. Player-specific WNBA clothing sales have increased 1,000% year over year as a result of her goods. Nearly 3 times as many people watch Clark games as other WNBA games, with an average viewership of 1.178 million. The average attendance at Indiana Fever games is 1,684, which is almost twice as many than at non-F Fever games, 8,552. Attendance at Clark's performances in places like Atlanta and Washington soars. Washington's numbers increased from 4,988 to 20,522, while Atlanta's crowds increased from 3,316 to 17,592. This Chicago moment, however, was unique. This demonstrated that Caitlin Clark's impact goes beyond geography, team allegiance, and even her availability to participate. In her rival's hometown, she converted a 20,000-seat arena into her own meet and greet. And she did it while recovering from an injury and dressed in street clothes.
And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play on the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign something. She was there. She spent like 20 minutes autographing everything. So here's Caitlin Clark signing autographs for 2 minutes 20 seconds. There are just a serious amount of fans. I don't even know, is that even just a towel? Like, it's very different. Like, they're showing up there. People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles.
Would you like to discuss psychological dominance? Due to a back issue, Angel Reese missed 2 games in a row. She would have watched thousands of Chicago supporters greet her fiercest rival like visiting royalty during the pregame, though, even if she had been healthy. That goes beyond simply losing a game of hoops. That's like the world itself questioning your entire home court advantage. In order to accommodate the enormous audiences that Caitlin Clark attracts, the game was moved to the United Center. About 10,000 people can fit at the original Winrust Arena, where the Sky typically perform. Even though Clark excels at winning games and putting up numbers when healthy, it's not all about that. It's about exerting such a powerful draw that your presence alone has the power to completely change an arena's mood. It all comes down to being so captivating that rival team supporters will queue up to get your autograph while their own team warms up in the background.
CC get treated like MJ in the rack. Oh my God. Caitlin Clark getting treated like Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Chief Keef, Lil Durk, all of them. Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras that was paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get autographs. And then we got Ice Cube bombing on Angel Reese, talking about, man, she's not worth the money that Caitlin Clark was worth. Caitlin Clark unlocked millions for the WNBA. Oh,
The Fever's complete dominance, without their finest player added to the victory's impressiveness. Aaliyah Boston scored 6 assists, pulled down 11 rebounds, and scored 14 points. Ari McDonald contributed 10 points, and Michaela Timpson scored 14 points off the bench. The depth and growth of a franchise that has created something unique around Clark's greatness were demonstrated by this full-team performance. Mitchell scored 13 points in the first quarter as the Fever went on an 18-2 run to take a 26-13 lead. This went beyond simply beating the Sky. It felt like a statement about the entire trajectory of these two franchises, since this was beating them so badly. The Fever defeated Chicago by double digits for the third time this season, improving to 14-12. The Sky's season has been characterized more by their missed opportunities than by their achievements, as they dropped to 718.
Squad, everybody. Kelsey Mitchell dropping a 35-piece right on y'all's domes. Aaliyah Boston out there Boston marketing. Michaela Timpson, our rookie, out there giving y'all the business. A Chicago Sky Goon Squad. When Bricklayer Reese plays, y'all lose. When the Sloth doesn't play, y'all lose. When Ariel Atkins plays, y'all lose. When she doesn't play, y'all lose. When Haley Van Lith plays, y'all lose. When she doesn't play, y'all lose. But ever since the Chicago Sky Goon Squad drafted Bricklayer, I spaced too far apart Reese, y'all ain't did shit.
There is more to what transpired in Chicago than win-loss records or basketball stats. This cultural event aptly captured the reasons Caitlin Clark has emerged as the most significant person in women's basketball. She didn't have to give out 15 assists or score 30 points. She didn't have to smash records or make logo three-pointers. All she had to do was show there, be there, and allow her attraction take care of the rest. Everything you need to know about her position in the sports world can be found in the fact that she spent almost half an hour signing autographs for fans who should have been cheering her on before a game she couldn't play in at a rival's home arena. Even when they're not on the court, great players improve everyone around them, as Kelsey Mitchell was busy demonstrating. There was more to her 35-point explosion than just individual skill. It was about taking charge when needed and demonstrating that the entire roster embodies the fiery culture that Clark helped establish.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC. Angel, pray up, me bound Reese. I hope you listening. It looks like that line was for my precious CC. How she pulled up in your trap. Yo, she brought the trap to your trap. What you mean? Yeah, everybody wanna my precious CC autograph. That's what I'm talking about. Who the biggest superstar? I'm waiting. Who the face of the league? I'm waiting. I know. Caitlin Clark is the Caitlin Clark effect. The CC effect. My precious CC, we here. She there. Real time, and she injured. You hear me? She rehabbing. And everybody, hey, CC, hey, oh my God, you are amazing.
Indiana Fever 93. Chicago Sky 78 was the final score. When Caitlin Clark turned the United Center into her own fan appreciation event 20 minutes prior to tip-off, however, the true tale was written. When Chicago fans arrived to watch their Sky play, but left after chatting about the Indiana player who was unable to even put on a suit, it was evident in their expressions. It contrasted a franchise that has established a sustainable business model around stardom with one that is still attempting to make the most of its own significant talent. Angel Reese will eventually recover from her back ailment. She will continue to achieve remarkable results and establish a strong reputation for herself. However, what transpired in Chicago on July 27th will serve as a prime illustration of the distinction between being a cultural phenomenon and being an exceptionally skilled player. It's the distinction between attracting admirers and generating a force that distorts reality to fit your presence.
Angel Reese is not injured, everybody. She's just trying to sit out because she sees Caitlin Clark sitting out, and Clark gets the attention with people saying, oh, the Fever play this way when Clark is playing, and then they play this way when she's not playing. So Bricklayer Reese is like, let me sit out too, so they can talk about how the Sky play when I'm playing and not playing, man. Because Clark lives rent-free in her empty-ass head. She tries to do everything that Clark does. We said we're watching women's basketball because of Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese gets up there and says, no, they're watching because of me too.
When Caitlin Clark arrived in Chicago, she sat on the bench, signed autographs, and somehow managed to close the entire establishment. Dominance isn't limited to basketball. Transcendence is that. That is the result of excellence, making such a loud announcement that even silence becomes a message. And Caitlin Clark demonstrated once more that some players don't just play the game. They become the game itself at Angel Reese's own home, where Angel Reese was nowhere to be seen. With yet another resounding win, the Indiana Fever left Chicago. Caitlin Clark left having transformed a road game into a homecoming, and Kelsey Mitchell left with a career performance. This type of cultural domination alters our perception of sports stardom in the 21st century, even though it isn't evident in box office results.